Hey, thanks for watching. What I'm doing here is I got this new faucet here, this Delta from Costco, and when I opened up the box and I was looking at it, I see that the ends for the that go down to the stop valve have a female connector. Now this wouldn't be a problem if I had kind of normal stop valves, but what I have are these they're called Flowtite, and basically it's a compression fitting with a hose that goes all the way in, and then it was supposed to attach to a male end. So basically what I need to do is either get an adapter, I guess, to kind of connect these two hoses together and have a really long hose underneath, or replace these stop valves. So I found these at Lowe's, and basically they're a sharkbite stop valve, 90 degree, and they're supposed to just be a push-on connector, and they fit on, I have copper pipes under there, so that's what I'm going to go ahead and try to use. So basically, I just thought I'd document this kind of as I'm going along. I'm not a plumber or anything, but rather than pay somebody to come out, I thought I'd try it myself and just see how it goes. But basically, I'm going to replace these push-pull Flowtite stop valves. And this is kind of what I been watching some videos, and these are kind of some of the things I thought I would need. I got some sandpaper to clean off the copper. I went ahead and got this sharkbite tool for checking the depth and for deburring it. I got a pipe cutter, tubing cutter, and this is going to be I'm kind of afraid of when I pull. I guess the way you can pull off those Flowtite stop valves is you kind of pull and turn counterclockwise, but I was a little bit afraid of that. I don't want to scar up that pipe. So as I said, what I plan to do is replace these myself and just kind of trying to save a little bit of money. And I'll post a comment, if what I do ends up leaking or something, but see how they go. So basically, these tubes go all the way up to the top to my existing kitchen faucet, so I'm going to have to go ahead and remove the connectors up top. So basically that's pretty easy, just use a crescent wrench, and basically I can just, untwist these. And, it's funny, I did come across a couple problems doing this. Some of these, to get that sink out, I ended up needing it was a real pain. You need like a really deep socket to do it or whatever. But the new faucet went in pretty easy. But this is pretty straightforward at the beginning. I'm just gonna take off these hoses. First thing I did, of course, was turn off the water to the house, and make sure that turn on some faucets downstairs just to make sure that there's gonna be no water coming out of these. So hopefully I did that enough. And if you are a plumber or you see something I'm doing wrong, definitely I would love comments down below. I have 12 more of these to replace, and I'm just doing the kitchen faucet right now. I don't know how long these Flowtite valves are supposed to last. Here I'm going through and I'm just cutting off cutting out the tubes, just to make it easier when I'm in there working, so I don't have to maneuver around these. Put a towel under here real quick. And this way, when I'm using that cutter and everything, hopefully this just won't be in the way. So, but yeah, if back to what I was saying, if you're a plumber and you see something I'm doing wrong, or something that could make this go a little bit better, I'd love to, if you could let me know, because that'd be great. I'm sure anybody else watching this would appreciate it as well. But it was a pretty straightforward process. So basically, get the tubes cut off. I removed them. There's a little bit of water still in the tubes because of that loop. The valves are open. You can see that one's still dripping a little bit, so evidently maybe I just didn't drain the water out quite well enough. Okay, here you can kind of see that got that first one done, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut that tube for the second one. Kind of get that one out of the way, since I'll be working on both of these at the same time. Again, like I said, I got 12 of these in my house, and I kind of wish I knew how long these last. Maybe they last forever, but the newer ones I bought, these sharkbite type that have the actual, I can replace the hoses, they're made out of metal, so I kind of wonder if this plastic won't get brittle or something in the long run. I did see people complain about them, and some people have had leaks with these, but I don't know how that really compares to, using a different brand. Now, as I said, these were copper pipes I have underneath through my house. I did get these sharkbites that are just, they push on. I thought about going with like some of those compression fittings or something, but I just ended up going with this push-on type, which seems to be pretty easy, and from what I read, it sounds like they're pretty decent, so we'll see how it goes. So okay, I got my hoses cut off. So now I'm ready to use the little pipe cutter, and I'll kind of cut these off, and that way I'm not kind of twisting and pulling them and scarring up that copper pipe, because I just want to make sure that's smooth so I don't have an issue. I use kind of a low profile pipe cutter that I bought at, I got this at Lowe's, but basically since my two valves are kind of close together, I want to make sure that, you know, when I'm spinning this, it wasn't going to interfere with the other one, so I'm kind of glad I got that. This one said it opens up to about 1.125 inches. I'm not sure if that's, I didn't measure these to see exactly what size they were, but it was definitely enough. Room to spare. So anyways, so just twisting these with that pipe cutter on, and just trying to get this this top piece off. So basically, I was doing a rotation, and then I'd kind of twist the end to tighten it up a little bit, do another rotation or two, twist the end to tighten it up a little bit, and kind of repeated this process until basically I heard a click of that plastic broke. So I'm gonna go ahead and speed this up a little bit. So as you can see, you know, it's kind of going around, and then I heard a crack, so I kind of pulled it off and checked it, and it did give a little crack, but it definitely wasn't off yet. So I did have to put the pipe cutter back on and go ahead and do a few more spins, and then after that it seemed to pop off really easy. So I'll just kind of show that. The thing did spin a little bit on me too as I was using the pipe cutter on this one. So as in the Flowtite valve spun. That's kind of what I was trying to say here. But anyways, pop the pipe cutter back on, kind of make sure I just get it back in that same groove that I'd been cutting on, which it went pretty easy, kind of slid right in there. And then went ahead and tightened it down a little bit more, and just did a few more turns. You can kind of see that groove in there, you know. And then you could definitely hear a crack as it started to break. And then as you can see, it came right off pretty easy. And so here's what it looks like up close. You can kind of see, I'll pull off there's a black washer, and then a gray plastic piece. And then underneath that, there's a metal star washer, like another gray plastic piece and stuff that I'll have to get off. What I'm going to use here are tin snips. So I'm going to go ahead and, you know, snip off that piece. And what I found easiest for me was just to kind of take a flat blade screwdriver and kind of bend that little stainless steel plastic lock washer, or not plastic, stainless steel washer out a little bit, and then I could kind of hit it with the tin snips, you know, and pop it off. So here you can see, kind of getting in there, taking that screwdriver, and I just kind of, this is what ended up kind of working. I'm not showing the part where I kind of fumbled around a little bit, but I kind of bent it out a little bit with a screwdriver. Then I can get in there with either tin snips or use this big set of cutters here, and these kind of work too. Tin snips ended up working better, but once I did that, I can pull off the next washer, and then the same thing. I would just take my screwdriver in there, kind of pop that forward just a little bit, and then I could hit it with the cutters again. Or I was also using the tin snips on the other one, because these cutters, they worked okay, but the tin snips ended up working better. I just happened to have these right next to me at the time, so I was using these. But once you get that last one off, you know, it pulled out, and then there was one last metal star washer kind of stuck on there in the back. And I debated taking this out, but I actually didn't mind it, because it looks like I was still going to have enough copper pipe, and that star washer was kind of keeping that white thing kind of pressed up against the wall. So I'm just going to leave that there, and should be fine, I think. So now, look at my pipe. My pipe looks pretty good. I mean, I don't see any gouges on it, and you know, when I feel it, there's no really rough edges or anything. So I think I'll just clean this up with what I ended up using was this 180 grit sandpaper type cloth stuff to kind of clean up any gunk. And you know, I don't know, this is one of those things, I don't know, am I being a little too cautious here cleaning this up? You know, you see other people just pop these on, but I'm not in a rush. I want to make sure this thing doesn't leak. So anyways, I'm kind of cleaning up the pipes a little bit, and then see how that goes. And again, if I end up getting a leak, I'll post below. And if you have any comments on better ways to do this, definitely comment below. I would love that, because as I said, I got 12 more of these to do. And you know, right now I'm just doing them for the kitchen sink, but I'm going to probably slowly replace all mine with the same sharkbite type thing. Or if, you know, let me know if these shark bites aren't very good, and people have had issues with them. I definitely could try like maybe one of the compression ones or something and see if that's any better. Basically, I just want longevity and no leaks. So right now, I'm just kind of twisting and cleaning up that copper pipe coming out of the wall there. Kind of make sure that there's nothing on it, you know. No burrs, making sure it's smooth so that shark bite connector can grab on. Okay, before I go ahead and do the put this shark bite on here, I'm gonna go ahead and pop the other one off, because I want to make sure I have plenty of room to work. So rather than have that other valve in the way, I'm just gonna go ahead and take off this other one. Another thing, as I said, I'm not a plumber. This is my first time trying this, so I don't know how well it's gonna work, which was a little intimidating. But I was looking up the cost to how much to replace a stop valve or water shutoff valve. And on Google, they were saying, materials are like $34 to $37. Total price for labor and materials per valve was, they said, $190. So they said coming in between a range of like $173 to $208. So anyways, I don't know if it really cost, $178 for each one of these valves, That was their low end. That seemed kind of... And the material costs, they said, as, being in the, 34 to 37 range. The shark bite valve or whatever, the new one I bought was, $10, but most of them definitely weren't in the $30 range. I don't think I saw anything in a $30 range. So maybe that's just kind of a markup for when you hire a plumber or something. I'm not sure. So that was kind of interesting. So yeah, I heard the crack on this one, and this one popped off pretty easy, and it's going to be pretty much the same process as before, using some snips, get these washers off and get this one cleaned up. But again, for the price, if it really ends up being, $170 or something or more to replace each one of these 12 in my house, wow. I'll definitely be glad if I can get these done myself and save a little bit more, save a little bit of money. I have more time than money right now, so this will definitely be fine. But again, if you don't know what you're doing, I guess you could hire a professional to do it, and that cost seemed to be kind of, that's just what Google was saying. It seems kind of expensive, but maybe it's cheaper. And it probably, I'm sure, depends on the area you are, and or you might be able to have a plumber friend who can hook you up for cheaper. So anyways, this is where I'm at, just trying to get it done as cheap as I can myself. And of course, no leaks is, kind of the priority. So maybe I'm going to really polish these things up and make sure there's no like little grooves or anything, and deburr them on the inside and the outside. And that's one thing I read too, is they talked about deburring it. So I've got a little deburr tool, which I'll kind of show in just a second, and kind of hit the sandpaper on the outside to make sure there's any exterior burrs or interior burrs that might mess up one of those washers or something on that new stop valve I'm going to be installing. So go ahead and get these unclipped, and the second round went a little bit easier, just popping these off a little bit faster than the first one. So getting a little bit of experience, I guess. But these cutters didn't work as good as the tin snips. I guess while I was talking prices, I might as well just say what kind of I spent on each thing. Tin snips here, these tin snips were, I want to say, like $15. And then the tubing pipe cutter, that was like $23, $20 to $23. I think I paid a little bit extra. I think they had a smaller one that I just wasn't sure about. So anyways, so about $23 for the tubing cutter, $15 for the snips. I think I paid like $9 for this huge roll of that sandpaper stuff that I'll probably only use a couple pieces of, but at least I'll have it to do the rest of the house. and probably loan out to anybody else who needs it in the neighborhood. And then what else did I buy? Oh, I bought some steel wool, kind of to some finer steel wool to kind of polish these up a little bit too. And I think I paid that was like $4. And then the sharkbite valves themselves, those were, I want to say they were like $11, but I ended up, they had like a kit where you can get 4 of them at a time, so kind of in bulk, and I think it ended up being like, $9.80 each or something like that. So saved a little bit of money there. I bought 4 of them since I know I'll be going and replacing a few more. You can see right behind where I'm doing this, I'm polishing up this valve. I got another one to do for the dishwasher, so I'm gonna have to get probably a new hose for the dishwasher and go ahead and have all 3 of these under here be the same. But again, for today, I'm just doing the one. Now this is the deburr tool that came that you could buy. Is made by Sharkbite, and it kind of is for, they say, for deburring the outside as well as being a depth gauge. So I think it was almost an inch you needed for these 1/2 inch Sharkbites that I got, stop valves. So, but this has a nice little depth adjustment, so you can just shove it in all the way and kind of use a Sharpie or something on the back. Now there's still a little bit of a burr inside these copper pipes from when they were originally put in, so it doesn't look like anybody kind of deburred the inside. But here I'm just going to go ahead and kind of see, yep, I definitely got enough room to push these on and push them on all the way. I'll go ahead and end up marking the back of that with just a little Sharpie after it's on, so I can just kind of note to myself that I got it pushed in far enough. But I think it'll be pretty obvious, because I'm pretty much going to push these almost as hard as I can back against the wall. So here, got my Sharpie though. Just be extra cautious, and I'll just kind of put a little mark there so I can kind of see where it's supposed to go. Now I can't put it right up against it because my Sharpie's got this big fat tip, so that's going to be a little bit past where it is, but I'll be able to eyeball it and kind of see as long as it gets close to that, I think. So okay, got those marked. And now grab one of the valves. Okay, so here's the valves that I this is the one I picked. It's got this white thing in the center there. That's supposed to go inside the copper, kind of a sleeve, and then you can just basically, from what I've seen in the videos, you just push this thing on, and that's it. And it grabs on, which is kind of like the Flowtite valves. They were kind of the same thing. They were just kind of a push on. And here is the deburring tool. So this is what I was talking about, to get the inside out. I used to use these when I was doing, running aluminum conduit. So basically it should be the same thing. You just kind of put it in there, kind of rotate it, and it'll kind of remove any burrs on the inside. Now I don't know how important it is to have the burrs from the inside removed, but here I'm just going to kind of run that around, and you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see it very good on the video, but it kind of pulls up a little bit of, you can see kind of a little copper shaving come out of there. That's kind of just removing that burr, and I can just kind of feel in there and see if there's still a burr. I'm kind of being gentle. I don't want to screw anything up on this, so but I definitely want to make sure that there's nothing that could cut any O-rings. Now I'm not, I'm not sure how important this is, to be honest. So again, if you're a plumber, and if this is just a waste of time, I'd like it if you left a comment below. That'd be awesome, and then I can kind of know that. Or if this is something that's needed, that'd be good to know too. So anyways, but I saw something that said deburr the inside and the outside somewhere when I was looking on the internet, so that's what I'm going to do here. So anyways, just running it through both of them, making sure that it ends up feeling smooth on the inside and no burrs, and then making sure I get any material that was in there. I can kind of see there's a big shaving that kind of comes off this, and I can kind of tell that it's, you won't be, focus isn't very good, but I can kind of tell that I'm getting them out of there, so don't want to leave those in the pipes. I'd hate that to mess up my new faucet or something. So anyways, kind of making sure it's kind of cleaned out and no burrs. Now this is one thing I didn't know if I was being a little too cautious, but I got some steel wool, it's some finer, and I'm just going to go ahead and kind of polish these up a little bit. I don't know if this is needed or not, but you can still see there's a little bit of, they're pretty shiny, but there's a little spot where it's still a little bit, kind of got that darker brown corrosion or whatever on there. oxidization. I'm not sure what that is. But anyways, I'll just kind of, this is a little bit of, I think it was fine or ultra fine steel wool. I'm just going to kind of make them even a little bit more smooth. Kind of, hopefully this will help the O-rings. And again, this may be total overkill. I don't know. But give it a good once over with these. Okay, here's my first attempt at putting a sharkbite connector on. It should be pretty easy. I mean, at least all the videos I see, they just show you pushing it on. And that's pretty much it. And I just want to make sure that I push it in far enough down to my little mark I made. Which should be right a little before that mark, because there was a little bit of gap trying to get my marker in there and everything. So, I don't know, it's got this little decorative washer on the end. I don't know if I'm just supposed to put that on first and do it. Let me... or if I could just leave that on my sharkbite thing. Honestly, I don't even know if this would be needed under the kitchen sink, but you know, I guess it just makes it look better. It seems more like it'd be something if this was visible, but there you can kind of see. I'm just gonna give it a little. It's not going on as easy as I thought it would be. I want to make sure that white part gets in there, so maybe I'll have to spin it a little bit. Let's see. Maybe it just takes a little bit more of a push. Get that washer lined up. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, that went good. I had to push a little bit harder than I thought. And it's got that little washer. It's kind of interesting that the whole sharkbite unit can spin while it's on there. So you can kind of, after you get it on there, you can kind of adjust it how you want. You know, give it a little extra push. Make sure, yep, that's in as far as it'll go. And then so you can kind of adjust that up or down or to the side, however your hoses are. So anyways, that was definitely easy enough. So time to get the next one. Okay, here comes the next one. So I'll go ahead, get it ready, kind of give it a good push. Move that sleeve so I can kind of see to make sure I'm getting it kind of far enough in there. Easy peasy. Second one went on a little easier. So now, I guess at this point, I'm just going to have to, I got these valves off. I got them, you know, turned to the right where it's not in line. And I'll just have to get the, go turn on my water main and see if these leak. Now to do this, I'm a little cautious. I'm gonna let my wife kind of. I'm in a 2-story house and I'm upstairs, kind of on the far end of the house where our kitchen is. So basically, what I want is when I turn on that water main, if this was to be leaking, I want to know. I don't want to turn it on, come up here, see it's leaking, go back down, and turn it back off. So I'm just gonna let my wife kind of watch these, and I'll run down there, turn on the water main, and verify no leaks. I'll just have her holler at me if she sees water coming out, and I'll just instantly turn that off, and hopefully that'll be good enough. Okay, I'm back, and the water main is on, and there are no leaks, so success so far. So okay, that really wasn't too hard to do, so I feel pretty good. Now I got to go ahead and get that old faucet out, and then kind of hook it up. One thing I just want to mention, I do have a mat under here, and I am going to kind of keep this cleared and kind of check for leaks periodically. So I'll probably keep an eye on this for the next, you know, probably check it every day for a few days, and then every week or something, and just kind of keep an eye to make sure that I don't have any slow leaks or something coming out. But I'm pretty impressed with how easy this was to do. So, you know, hopefully the rest of them go good. But again, any comments are welcome below if you can see any improvements or anything else to do. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and start removing that sink up there. So I don't know why I keep saying sink. What I mean is remove the faucet. I'm not replacing my sink. But anyways, I have this old Moen faucet that I got to figure out how to remove it. Give that a shot. I don't know. It's probably from like my house was about 20 years old, so some model from back then. It doesn't really look too intuitive when I was looking up from the bottom. So looking up here, I went ahead and I just cut the hoses that were for that little sprayer that was in my faucet. But it looks like there's this one nut at the very top there that I'm going to have to get off. So it's real tight, pain to get in there to do that. So anyways, I did find out that for my little sprayer thing, there was a clip. I could have just removed the clip, and right here you can see, you can just pop out that clip, and I could have just disconnected. I'll just do that anyway. See, I could have just disconnected that to remove the sprayer. So hindsight, but no big deal. I'm not saving this faucet. It's rusty. It's getting old, so there's no big deal cutting it. So anyways, that was the clip. So, oh, one other thing here is, you see this like little tank right beside me. What this is it's a little awkward getting under my sink because I have this water filter system. So this is like I love this thing. It's like a awesome water filter system, reverse osmosis. Use these 3 big filters that are pretty cheap to replace. It usually costs like, I replace them once a year, like, $30-40. APEC water systems or whatever makes it. But anyways, it's pretty awesome. So back to this. So now I just got to get that top nut removed, and that was a big pain in the butt. I mean, you got to be a contortionist to get under there. So anyways, the big problem was get the nut removed, and then basically everything I could just pull out. So then I followed the instructions. I'm going to keep it short, but I mean, it was pretty easy to follow the instructions and pop this new one on. Here's my new sink. Not new sink, new faucet. What do I keep saying that? My new faucet. And, it works great. I've had no problems underneath with leaks, and I'm kind of putting this little video quick edit together, and it's been like, a couple days. So anyways, I'm still keeping an eye on it, and actually I still got a little tub under there just in case, something happens, but no issues at all. Well, I guess there was one issue. I did not mark my hot and the cold lines, so at first I had those reversed. I thought the hot one was on the bottom, but the hot one ended up being on the top. So when I turn this faucet onto cold, I'd get hot water, hot, I'd get cold. So I did have to turn off those stop valves and then, swap the hoses. So, but that was just error on my part. I should have checked that at the beginning. But other than that, no leaks, everything's doing good. So anyways, thanks a lot for watching. Any likes and subscribes would be awesome. Have a good day.